Hey, Remarkable Republican, what are you called on Discord? Just to clarify, so I don't add a rando.
No, add a rando. Just let's see what happens.
Random person.
Fine,
Random person.
I want to get a random person in claiming to be Remarkable Republican to see what they say.
Oh my god. Does this actually happen?
He's muted.
He's muted. This ruins the
Bring
immersion.
out the loud soup.
I'm just gonna post memes until he unmutes.
Post means.
Meme.
Can't be mean. This is the internet. You're not allowed to be mean
Random
on the
YouTuber
internet.
on Twitter. I'm blocking you, Mola. Oh my god, hello.
So, can you hear me fine? Everything's good?
Most
Hello.
yes. How do you do?
Doing alright, man. How are you?
Excellent. I've had many to drink, and I'm jovial with friends. How do you do?
I wish I had had more to drink, but I have not.
So, what did you want to talk about?
Oh, whatever you guys want to talk about. I didn't realize this was a special stream until I got into it, because I didn't see, like, the first few hours, so...
It's special.
Did you say that you wanted to debate something?
Yeah, I just wanted to, debate a little Star Wars or Game of Thrones or something of that nature. That's cool with you guys.
Are you sure that Leia is best friend hot, rather than just super hot?
I'm 100% positive about that, yes.
What about when she's wearing the bikini?
Oh, that's not too bad, but
Still best friend hot, though.
She should have done that in the other two movies also. I mean,
Sure, I wouldn't have said no to it.
that's what I'm
wouldn't
saying,
say.
right? I mean, if we're gonna do a
Personally, I
revision.
think all of the characters should have constantly.
Do you
all the
still
time.
feel that Vader is a ripoff of RoboCop?
Oh no, I looked that one up. I guess you got me.
So, if you were in a spaceship and landed on Mars and you wanted to go outside, what would you wear?
And you could wear a spacesuit, I guess, right?
I mean, yeah, that would be my choice.
What an odd
But-
question, Jay. Why would you ask him that?
Yeah, Jay.
There's
him to say-
there's context.
Like wellies? What did you think?
Wellies?
It's like,
You wear wellies on your
first thing
spacesuit
you
if you want. Hey, only wellies.
What's wellies?
Wellies are like big old rubber booties to prevent the mud from getting to your socks.
Oh, I mean, yeah, as long as it's somewhat pressurized, you should be all right.
I don't think wellies are pressurized.
Hey,
Okay then.
just because you
Why not?
say that doesn't mean it's true,
not the
Jay.
cheap, shitty ones, but the expensive wellies.
Expensive wellies.
The space wellies.
Truck is gonna send our space.
I'm imagining someone on Mars wearing wellies but nothing else.
I imagine C-3PO wearing.
Well, honest question. Can gay people wear wellies?
I don't know what wellies are, so
Think
That's just-
harder.
They are like big rubber boots without laces or anything. They
Oh.
just like you slip them on for
I-
walking in mud.
the kind of rain boots that girls wear.
Oh yeah, those they're very popular in the UK.
Sure, I guess. I mean,
Hmm.
Let me look through
you
some
can
of your
buy it in a
recent
store. If
videos.
anything you can buy in a store, you can wear.
Including
By
macaroni.
definition.
What do
You
you
make a whole
man.
shirt out of it.
If
Do
you
you-
have
You've been
only
busy.
if you only have one foot, are you wearing wellies or are you wearing welly?
You're just wearing well.
Do you think it was?
That was a couple.
Do you think it was a smart decision to put the catapults at the front of the army in Game of Thrones? I mean, the trebuchets. Sorry.
Yeah, I do. The
Why?
reason is they assume that the armies of the night would arrive by day, so that way they give you the maximum time and space to fire at them from afar.
But that's not the maximum
That's-
time and space. They're in the front of the army.
Yeah, but if they're behind the castle walls, they don't have a clear line of sight.
That's the if they're behind the walls.
trebuchets don't need a line of sight. You flick it up and over.
Yeah, that's like their advantage is that they don't need a lot.
Are you fucking retarded? Do you not know how trebuchets work?
Actually, don't be so mean to him because he doesn't know how a trebuchet works. Okay.
If you fire I mean, no, I've looked this up. I mean, I've learned a lot of stuff about military things since I did my privatization series. But when you're firing
we privatize our
upwards,
trebuchet.
Okay, look.
you lose a lot of velocity, so the range you'll have when you're firing in
Okay,
a
so
howitzer mode is not very great.
but you realize having them behind the castle walls gives them more range than having them in front closer to the enemy army.
The big thing is, right, no matter how much range you gain from putting them at the front, you have 0 range when they're destroyed first. It's the army comes and destroys them.
Hey, but once the dead close, they're not going to be useful anyway unless you're willing to kill your
I
own guys.
disagree.
Why would the zombies arrive by day? Why would they?
Why would they not? There's, I mean, if you think about it,
Because their whole thing is night. Have you paid attention?
Their boss is called the Night
I've not
King.
seen the show, and I am aware of this.
also existed during the day. I mean, we see pictures of them during the day. I mean, it's not
If
like
they're all,
You're
if
right.
if their
They did-
strategy is to rush the castle with melee weapons, wouldn't it be advantageous to use the cover of night?
No, but he said they exist during the day too.
not really. I mean, you know, they could fight during night or day. They had a massive advantage. I mean, I guess.
But they
Night
but you're
advantage
saying
would
but
they
you're
have
saying
during the
you're
day?
saying that they actually that their strategy worked because it was at night.
That helped a lot. I mean, because
So why
then
did they
it
go
makes
in the
perfect
day?
sense that they would do it at night then. Like, it makes perfect sense.
I mean, yeah, if they can plan it that precisely, but I mean, sometimes it's hard to know how
I
long
guess
it's
they
going to
The
take.
can.
night
when
is
you're
half
walking.
of the 24-hour period. Is darkness, so
You know, like I said, you
And
have
also,
to take a shot.
it's
You gotta
winter, isn't it?
take a
If it's
shot.
winter, it's even longer. Like, in fact, it's more
I'm not-
likely
I'm
that
not
it's going to be nighttime.
I mean, like I know, I think one of you guys criticized the fact that they had the Dothraki charge, but I mean, that's how
Yeah,
cavalry
because that's
works.
retarded.
No, that's not how
that's
cavalry
how light
works.
cavalry-
Buddy, you don't know
No.
anything about military
No.
tactics.
You don't use light cavalry to start a frontal assault against the enemy.
They literally had no backup or support. They were sent in to die.
Swords and no
You
You guys think knights work.
Mr. RR, you realize they all died immediately.
They all became zombies.
basically just saying, here, have some troops.
They all didn't die immediately because
Yes, they did.
in the next episode, and there were a lot of Dothraki around. They
Yeah,
killed
but
them.
that's because the show's bullshit. They basically said that they had, like, more
Because
guys than
they're
they
not-
did.
What are you
They're
gonna
not
believe? The
considering-
editing or you're lying?
Why are you
thing too
posting
is-
wellies?
We only had a very limited line of sight, so we actually don't know if some of them were
How
able
could
to
they
deliver their
possibly
lances and
have
ride off.
How could they have possibly lived, though? Like, surely they would have come back, you know, the same way that the zombies did, but they didn't. It was just nothing but zombies, so they're all dead.
How many Dothraki zombies did you see?
Dude, they're all dead.
All of the swords went out as they
Hold
were
on.
killed.
No. Did you miss the part where the Night King raised the dead and they
Saw
all
that.
stood back up?
But where were the Dothraki zombies? They just rode
They
off.
were in the crowd that he raised the dead.
They were
from.
attacking Daenerys and all those guys.
Are you trying to argue to us that the fact that they were dead rather than zombies is a win?
I think you guys are overestimating the number of Dothraki who got
I think
killed.
I think you're overestimating the amount of functioning brain cells in your empty little head.
Oh, calm down, Wolf. It makes total sense that if I know it doesn't, but
Wolf, leave him alone.
I'm sure.
I mean, how many cavalry charges have you led lately?
How many have you led?
I haven't led any, but neither of you.
Okay, so we're on even footing.
So
So
none of us
pick it
can
up.
say anything about cavalry charges because we haven't been in them. Is that how it works?
I haven't drank battery acid, but I
They rely heavily on momentum and space. That's why you have a force, why you get mobility.
Yeah, but what good is that going to do if you're basically running into a brick wall of dead people? It's just a wall of zombies. You're going to die.
they have,
Hey, no,
they have
that's
short swords. All of these
Plus, you can't
mounted
see shit.
cavalry have little short
It's
swords.
pitch black. They don't even see them until they're like a meter ahead of them, and then they're all dead. It's like what? It was a
You watch
stupid
it,
idea.
you can
What
see
was
all
the
their
better
swords
course of
going
action?
out.
The
What was
better course of action definitely would
Dothraki?
not have been sending your cavalry in as the front, like the full frontal assault to die instantly and be used against you.
No. I mean, that's
Oh,
clearly.
no,
I mean, I
it's
think
not-
that's clearly
there's
the
no
move to make
worse thing
because
to do than
cavalry
that.
just aren't that useful in the defensive. That you have to attack
So
somewhere.
then don't even use
They
them
don't
at
have
all, then.
visibility.
Just put them just put them with all the other dudes.
They didn't
They
wait
can't
until
fight
the zombies were
defensively.
against
They
the
don't have
wall,
time.
and then they flank from the sides of
Like,
the castle.
basically,
or
this would be, I mean, this would be like if you had people swimming across the English Channel to invade Normandy, and then they all died, and then they're like, oh shit, yes, that's like,
I mean, I think you're underestimating how tough the Dothraki are in an attack, but also they can't defend.
They all died. They all died immediately.
They all died. They're like,
How many dead did it take with them? We don't know. They
It
might
doesn't
have.
matter.
It wouldn't matter
They
because
reflect
they
all of
become
their
zombies
bodies.
anyway.
It doesn't happen until much later in the battle.
Which he could have done at
We're
any
trying
time
to
at his
buy time.
choosing.
You have no idea if the Night King or any of his subjects raised the dead between that moment and later. You have no idea.
And we know for sure it happened at least once.
Your entire argument rests on the idea that the White Walkers decided not to raise the dead at that point.
They might not have needed to. They seem to have had a lot of numbers going into that.
You're
battle.
right, you know what? You're
why
right.
would
They
you
had
do
millions anyway.
What?
Why
They're
even
just like, oh,
bother?
fuck, who cares? I need more people.
Because if you can do that at any point, your casualties are irrelevant. You can give the other side a false sense of hope, then raise the dead and be like, "Gotcha."
A false sense of
Why not?
hope.
The
Have a
zombies!
false sense of hope.
Yeah, they were
Go.
looking really hopeful throughout that.
Why would the zombies want
That's
to give them a false?
Can you imagine
Let's give them a
mess
false
with
sense
the
of hope
mind.
by giving them loads of free troops
Imagine
and
that.
killing loads of our guys.
That is a military tactic, man. Like, you have a bunch of dudes surrounded, and you're just like, here, use this gun. Go on. I'll give you a sporting chance to kill us. Go on, do it. It's like
The ultimate 4D test tactic is just killing your own troops.
to own the zombie. kill your own troops to own the Sith.
I mean, if you didn't think the dead would get back up, I mean, it kind of makes sense to
They know
make
that they
a big
do,
strike.
though. They know how this works.
Do they all know that? Because a
John
lot of those
would've
guys
I feel like the
Everybody.
tacticians knew this.
They
I mean,
literally,
sure.
One of the guys
it's literally
fighting
called the
battle
army
came
of the dead.
They saw it at Hardhome. I
Hey,
haven't
so-
even seen the show, and I know that witnessed them raise the dead at Hardhome. He would have told everybody, by the way, they could raise the dead to fight in their army.
I mean, but did he know they could do it in en masse though? I mean,
He
'cause I
watched
feel like
it
that's kind of
happen
an
at
important detail.
Hardhome. He watched it. He was sitting there looking at
Converted
it.
the Wildling army, which is supposed to be one of the largest armies in Westeros, into zombies.
I remember that happening.
That sounds cool. I want to watch this film.
I'm gonna go get some more pizza.
You're
I mean-
telling me that you don't remember the one good thing from all of season 5?
No, I guess not. I guess that was what.
Do
4
you
years ago at
remember
this point?
like? Do you remember like what happened 6 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Have you ever engaged your brain in your entire life?
Wolf, be nice.
Christ.
A few times, like when I destroyed you just now on this point about Game of Thrones.
Oh shit! Wolf got destroyed.
Okay.
And
Um,
also, like the whole King's Landing battle. I mean, that one actually, I think you guys botched that
What do
one
you
pretty
mean
bad.
battle? She fucking wiped out everyone.
There was no battle. It was over. She took out all the crossbows, like just like that, and then it
Right.
was over.
She made the militarily wise decision to go bold
What,
and
to
go after all
kill
the
all
Kill
the
children.
crossbows.
The militarily
everybody.
wise decision to execute children.
She was trying to create a path for her troops to continue to advance.
What? Is that what you think that was?
She burned the city to the ground. Her troops didn't mean
How are you meant to
anything.
advance
She was
through it
providing
when it's
close air
all on
support.
fire?
All right.
It's on fire. There's no
What
roads
happened?
anymore. If anything, you made it way harder to get through.
They literally
because everything's
retreat
blown
because
up.
the city is falling apart. Like, they have to run away from their own leader.
What's
The
that?
thing is, when you're sacking a city, people can knot up in the streets, especially narrow streets like King's Landing. And at that point, then her already depleted forces from the previous battle could take additional casualties. So if you clear
So
the
it's better
streets
to
by
just
blaming
kill all the
concentrations, it helps.
I need Shadow
It wasn't concentrated. It was the whole thing. It was the whole city. She killed everyone. She killed people who were well out of the way of the battle.
I mean, I don't think it showed that many civilian deaths. I think people were reacting a
She
little too
destroyed the
quickly
whole
to it.
city.
The whole
destroyed
city
the
was
whole
on
city.
fire.
warfare civilians often got killed. It wasn't
That doesn't
exactly.
mean you go out of your way to kill them.
Hey, they just happened to be in the way. And she was mostly going after Lannister soldiers.
Specifically targeted.
She
a
even
crowd of
admits that
civilians.
she killed children in the next episode. What are you
She
talking
saw them.
about?
She saw them there, but she still had to clear the street. You know?
She had to clear the
Oh, she cleared the street, all right.
She had to clear the street of screaming
No women
children.
and children would get in the way of the invading army.
I'm sure John was very thankful that those children are out of the way.
I mean, that was the problem with John.
Yeah,
in
we
that
wouldn't wanna let
episode,
those
is that
kids
he
get
didn't
hurt by the
understand how
army.
the sack worked.
You don't understand how what works,
He
sorry?
didn't understand how the sack of a city worked. I mean,
Buddy,
not
you
only
know,
are the men-
I don't think
Oh,
you get
yeah, I
to
don't
tell
think
anyone
that's
or
the
any.
position you should be saying right now.
This is
So,
amazing.
like, you know how when Germany invaded Paris, they didn't just kill every single person that was in the city? You know that, right?
Their
even the
mistake, right?
the city
Kill
surrendered.
everybody.
Why
Their
would they?
mistake.
Yeah, they surrendered in the show.
Yeah, they surrendered in the show.
She still did it. She's worse than Hitler.
All the
She's
troops
worse
didn't lay down their arms, though. They were still resisting.
They literally threw down their weapons. That was a scene. I saw that scene.
They literally threw down their weapons and then picked them back up and started getting
Because they
attacked
were
again.
being melted by horrible fire. I can't believe this is happening.
I mean, well, did Daenerys hear from Cersei that she surrendered? Did Cersei wave a flag on the tower?
was
The
the
bells. I thought the whole point of the bells
This
was
isn't
we
even
surrendered.
She doesn't
relevant.
have direct access to the bells. How was she going to send a messenger down
The
to the
city
bell?
surrendered. If the city surrendered. She surrendered. What's she gonna do?
what
No, I
army
don't
is
surrender
left?
and then die.
She's got her Kingsguard.
She has
And
to
they
get
still
a
have-
mobile phone call from Cersei.
Okay, so she's got a Kingsguard, so let's burn all of the children.
That's not what I said.
But but that's the thing. That's the action that she took that you're defending currently. No, when she burned the city.
I don't know if Daenerys heard the bells. Jon heard them, and we know that from the scene. But
She definitely.
She
heard-
literally. People argue the bells sent her insane. That's what people actually argue.
I don't know how Bell would send somebody insane. That doesn't
I
make
agree
sense
with
at all.
you. I don't
I
know
agree
how
with
bells
that.
sent someone insane.
Unless that's the
Hey.
first time in her life she's heard a bell, which I find hard to believe.
I would have killed
What if you'd never heard it? Hang on, that's. I really want to question that. Why would that send you insane if you'd never heard a bell before? Like, oh my god, what's that?
I'm just speculating.
Oh my
like, trying to
God,
come
what
up
is
with a
that? I gotta
reason why
kill
somebody
children.
would think that, but I don't know.
I'm
favorite
sorry, accepted.
stream. Well, no, we're up there. Top 10.
What a season finale this is.
I'm gonna get another beer.
This is like the end of phase 1.
Who knows what
Finale,
phase we're at
what?
at this point.
Why did you spell in your video Game of Thrones season 8 story arcs like arc as in like Noah's Ark?
That's how you spell the word arc.
You spelled it ARKS, but you're talking about story arcs though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, a story arc is not spelled with a K; it's spelled with a C.
Sure, that doesn't sound right.
It's hold on.
Fringy, I love you, man.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, according to Wikipedia, that's how it's spelled. I don't know.
All right.
Well, I mean, you got anything to say to me?
Gotta.
Oh, I mean, whatever. It's not that big of a
Oh
deal.
God, no. Oh God, no.
Okay. I think we'll all just be able to mute and Chad can
This
take
would be
it.
great.
I need this. Please, Shad, pick up the phone. Belch.
Who is Shad?
He's kind of an idiot. He thinks he knows shit about medieval stuff. I was going to see if he could talk
We
to you.
like
It'd be
we like
funny.
to humor him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the
That
thing.
should
They're
be
all
fun.
lying. He's your worst fucking nightmare, and I'm gonna love the next 5 minutes.
Why would you say that when he hasn't answered the call yet?
Your worst nightmare.
come.
Pick up the
He'll come.
phone.
He'll come.
Ah!
Hold on, can we
He just wants to drag out the suspense.
I will agree that
I see the little
circumcision's
link
bad
you
though.
sent me.
So
Okay.
we've always got
Who
that.
are you voting for in the 2020
Versions of
election?
the word arc. Do what?
No, you're wrong, man. Sorry. Like, it's spelled arc with a C. Like, don't.
You saw? Yeah, you sent me the link. I saw it. I didn't know there was another version of the word. I thought it was just.
You mean
one
like
spell.
Ark of the Covenant?
Everyone's got
Yeah,
names,
that's
man.
right.
Yeah.
So everyone's got knowledge gaps.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Wait, hold
Ark
on.
Survival Evolved.
Why is the Outer Worlds cultural Marxism?
The game clearly promotes anti-capitalism, and it does so pretty unapologetically.
How so?
I haven't played it. So
I mean, have you? Okay, so you start out. You're in this world where there is a board of corrupt corporations running everything, and it's basically just all humor about how these companies are evil and how their products suck, and how all the people who lead these companies are corrupt and incompetent.
Why is that anti-capitalist by its very nature, though?
And that's literally the only kind of joke that's in the entire thing.
So that can be
I
anti-corruption.
I doubt that that's the only joke in the game.
Being against
Literally is.
corruption and capitalism isn't being
literally-
against capitalism.
It literally is. Okay.
It's a straw man argument against capitalism.
It literally is.
But you're the one interpreting
You're
it
the one
that
who
way.
said it was an argument.
What?
Well,
I'm just muting myself because I can't control myself.
you'll be fine, Mahler. Hang in there. I'm doing it, so you can do it.
None of you guys have played Outer Worlds?
No.
No.
I feel like I don't need to know that you're not telling me the whole truth. This is what I mean. Like, I feel like there's something you're not telling me.
So
I mean, I'm pretty sure you would agree with me if you played the game. Let me put it that way. I feel pretty confident of that.
That the only jokes in the game are anti-capitalist.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm sure you have an occasional sex joke, but I mean, I played about 5 hours of it, and it was just.
Oh,
a
so
lot of
you didn't
corporate
beat it
bashing.
then? You didn't beat it.
The game pissed me off.
it pissed
The
you
game
off. Why is
pissed you off
that?
to where you didn't finish it.
What?
The
How did it
story,
piss?
the story
how it
was
pissed you
just.
off?
I mean, the story was just shitting all over capitalism. I mean, I don't want to sit there and
Okay,
listen
well,
to that.
let's actually dive deeper. If the story was shitting exclusively on capitalism, why is that necessarily a bad story?
Because it's a false story. I mean, capitalism.
What do you mean a false story? What if you?
That's
What if
what
you
stories
don't like
aren't
capitalism?
real.
Capitalism
what do you-
is meritocracy by its very
Is
nature.
it though?
No.
Is it
Yes.
though?
No, you can
Is it
have
though?
Obviously.
no because you've got
I love
nepotism in
capitalism,
capitalism.
but there's definitely nepotism in capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, like especially
I love
in America.
capitalism,
Holy
but-
shit!
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on.
Capitalism favors those who are already rich.
But have
Well,
you
no,
ever
that's just
seen
money. That's just money favors those who are always rich. Who are
Well, yeah,
rich
that's what
already.
that's what I mean. Like,
There's money
Let's
in
think about it this way.
capitalism.
Okay.
in the game Outer Worlds? I think they go through 7 or 8 companies eventually, from what I've read in reviews. Would every company be led by someone who is completely and totally retarded?
What do you
Or
mean
would you at least have
retarded?
a few-
Are they
I
stupid
met the
or are
guy
they
in the
really
first
retarded?
village.
Dude.
I met the guy in the first village who was running the cannery, and I mean, this guy was completely moronic. He was unable
How
to run his
so?
business. He had let a bunch of people walk out of the camp. He couldn't do anything about them. He couldn't make people work. He couldn't
Well,
keep the
what do you,
lights
how
on.
does somebody make people work if they don't want to?
I mean, if you're the boss, you figure out how to do that, whether it's through persuasion, force, or whatever you got to do.
Through force.
Oh,
Force.
shit.
I mean, in this game, yeah, in this game, they own their employees. I mean, if you got
That's
sometimes
not
you got to
very
crack
good. That's
the
not
whip, but that's what you gotta
capitalism.
do.
yeah,
That's
I'm
not
pretty
wrong.
sure that is
That's not
capitalism.
No, you don't own your workers.
No, but
Sign
that is still
contracts.
that's still by definition capitalism. It's just not the
being
capitalist system that we use.
Being unable to negotiate your own working conditions.
They did
That's not very
negotiate
capitalist.
those. They signed contracts when they moved to this solar system.
So
Okay,
it's
so why do you-
indentured
why-
servitude?
Right.
I guess you could call it indentured servitude, but I mean, it's a fair price for being transported.
Is
Like
it a fair
thousands of
price
light
to
I don't
no
know,
longer
man.
have personship?
I don't think that's fair.
Are there
like how else do you pay for that kind of interstellar travel? if you're
money.
just
With
some guy?
money.
with money?
How are you gonna have enough money unless
You have a
you're
job.
rich? Yeah, you got a
Well,
job.
Oh,
You do
wow,
Yeah,
that.
then
how
by
are you
being
gonna-
rich,
how are you
yeah.
gonna do it without money? Wow, that's an interesting commentary on capitalism. Oh, wow. Whoops.
I mean, the last I checked, space travel was not exactly listed as a necessity, was it?
But I thought we needed to go to Mars to set up an ethno-state. Like,
No,
What are you thinking about an
No, not an
ethno-state? What are you
not an
talking about?
ethno-state.
Theocracy.
Yeah, theocracy, not an
Oh,
ethno-state.
theocracy. Okay.
Theocracy. An
Oh.
ethno state would be barbaric and backwards. This is
Yes.
a theocracy.
Well, the only groups that have enough resources to colonize and then the morality to keep a community like that together under harsh conditions probably would be a church organization.
Like
I
Mormons?
really
Don't-
Not a
I don't-
government?
Only groups with enough money would be a church.
Like Scientology?
Scientology,
Not
I
like
mean,
a
in
government?
theory, I mean, they'd probably fuck it up, but they're welcome
They,
to try.
they would, but you
Everyone's welcome to try,
Xenu would
man.
direct them to the light.
Xenu, please.
I mean,
Xenu
there
will
are
lead
also-
us back to the home planet.
There are also a lot of benefits of a space colony that I don't think you're considering, like especially say for old
No,
people who
No,
have
we
no
like
ability
space
to
colonies.
No, we don't
gravity.
disagree with the space part.
We like the space colonies. Space colonies are a big thumbs up from me.
And for me, I like space
Yeah,
as a.
Space
as a
is fun.
I want me some space.
I saw
colonies.
Ad
it's the
Astra.
final frontier.
Ad Astra,
Oh, you have an Ad Astra movie review. I haven't seen it. What?
Hey,
What?
I do.
Do you like Ad Astra? Did you like that?
Oh, wait.
But,
Okay,
I mean,
okay. So,
it-
sorry, I'm the host. I gotta redirect this conversation now. Myself, Jay, Fringy, Rags, Wolf, if we could all stay silent and allow these two gentlemen to talk about.
right.
Shad, do you remember episode 3 of Game of Thrones season 8? Yes, the castle defense from the army of zombies. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, that one. Absolutely. I do
Now-
remember this.
I would like Remarkable Republican. What do you think of the defense of the castle? I'll let you start, and then I will be silent.
I think that the defense that Danny and John mounted was fundamentally sound based on medieval realism. They deployed the catapults forward so they'd have the maximum distance to fire at the approaching enemy. They were assuming the enemy would arrive by day. They sent the cavalry to charge because the cavalry needed space and momentum to be effective. So their opening moves were solid. They also divided their defenders between outside the castle walls and inside, so that we were defending all parts at all times. I don't see how they could have done much better than what they did. They also had their dragons doing close air support and looking out for the other dragons. So I feel like they mounted a pretty competent and respectable defense.
Do you know what castles are meant to be? Yeah,
Yeah, they're forts.
also cavalry. When is it preferable to use cavalry in open warfare?
100% of the time.
No. Battle of Agincourt, massive French cavalry charge got absolutely wiped out by English archers. There are
We're charging
many
uphill.
situations. No, there are many situations when cavalry is a terrible idea, and the situation when they were used in Game of Thrones is most definitely one of them.
Well, the dead didn't have archers, though, so it's not Agincourt.
No. But see, the other situation, cavalry primarily is used for shock tactics, hopefully to try and break up a unit formation, and you want to get them to flee. If they don't flee and they storm the cavalry will be dead. And so after the first impact, if the infantry isn't breaking up, the cavalry needs to retreat. Otherwise, they're going to get mowed down. Now, with an army of the dead, do they retreat?
That I'm aware of.
No, the army of the dead don't retreat. And they were also outnumbered as well. The other time when you can use cavalry to just really mow down infantry is if you are outnumbering them in a large measure. You have a lot more cavalry, but even that's not a guaranteed thing. It always needs to be used with the right, reason and consideration and stuff like that. But in regards to the Game of Thrones situation, the cavalry was outnumbered and the undead won't retreat. And so sending them in is utter and complete suicide, especially looking at it from the historical lens of what cavalry is meant to do and when they're meant to be employed.
And Shad, are there different kinds of cavalry?
Oh yeah, light cavalry, heavy cavalry, and stuff like that. And what's interesting about the Game of Thrones thing, technically the Dothraki are light cavalry, and so that is like to use light cavalry in a heavy frontal assault charge into infantry like that is just completely retarded because they're not unarmored. Sorry, they're not wearing heavy armor to survive the melee that they're running into. They don't have lances, so there's no insta kill on the direct hit impact. They are armed with like small sickles and stuff like that, which means they can't strike anyone in front of their horse. Okay, you can only strike people with these type of weapons on the sides of your horse, which means you can't remove or attack anyone in front of you, and so you're just presenting your horse to be killed in that way.
Don't you think you might be underestimating the skill of these guys who have been kicking so much ass in the show.
So they are superhumans.
I mean, they were dominating in Essos.
Probably because they were being used in the right way, as light cavalry should be. Skirmishing, harrying around the edges and stuff like that. There was also a lot of mounted archers with the Dothraki, if I recall. And again, just like the Mongolians historically, light cavalry, you run around it. And like, if you look at history, there were actually some interesting engagements between the Mongolians and Eastern Europeans. You can kind of call them knights, but not. But anyway, armored, European, very medieval kind of combatants, and they got absolutely mowed down by the Mongolians because the Mongolians were employing their light cavalry to just perfect, just in a perfect amount, and it was basically running around them, pinging them from a distance, not running into heavily armored units.
I mean, the only weakness of the Mongols historically is if they'd ever run across real European knights. I mean, there's no way in hell they could have gone up toe to toe with like Richard the Lionheart or
the Mongolians trashed the Europeans when they we're talking about mounted units. Whenever they engaged, they won. Like if you're looking at from the medieval technological standpoint.
Also, have you ever seen a picture of the Mongolian Empire and how far west?
Yeah, they went into Russia.
They were past Russia. They were almost at Constantinople. I mean, they were pretty far west.
And they didn't conquer anywhere where they had true knights.
Dude,
they weren't in France or Germany.
No, you would call them true. Well, hang on. How do you define true knights? So you're talking about heavily armored cavalry because the Mongolians did defeat heavily armored cavalry.
Lance, sword, and
no. The Mongolians did defeat heavily armored cavalry. It's historical. It happened.
Were they knights?
How do you define knights?
You have to have the equipment, and you also have to have a code of chivalry.
How do you define the code of chivalry?
It's the code of chivalry. It's just like the code of conduct that they all follow. I mean, it's the thing that makes them who they are. It's their moral code.
I mean, do you think that every kingdom had the same code of chivalry for every, knight group that they had? Why are you conflating like all of Europe as though it's the same?
Fringy's actually completely right here. Chivalry was a subjective thing interpreted by the knights, and its most accurate application is chivalry means the qualities that make a knight good at his job. And it started with pure horsemanship, because chivalry comes from the word chevalier, and if you go back, it basically translates to horseman originally. And so if you were good at horse riding, or technically combative horse riding, you were chivalrous in the original genesis of the word. And as it evolved, it simply expanded to mean the qualities that made a knight good at his job. And when you look, I made a whole video on this, all right? Chivalry is one of my specialties. And when you go back and actually look at how chivalry was interpreted historically, there are there was never a codified, unified thing that everyone followed. And there were forms of chivalry that one person would call chivalrous and another group of people would think that's completely incorrect. And their version of chivalry would outrightly contradict something. Sorry about the kids in the background, by the way. Yeah. And so following chivalry, is a very essential part of what defines, a knight to be a knight, but not necessarily means that they're going to be better at mounted combat than many other people of the medieval period. And the type, it doesn't make their type of mounted combat different from other heavily armored, mounted, warriors who were not knighted of the period. Okay. And so when you're looking at heavy cavalry of the medieval period, the fact that one group might be knighted and one group might not be won't change how effectively that you could employ them in combat, is my point.
Similarly, the skill of the Dothraki, for instance, won't change that little sickle into a lance.
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, to circle back, something you said stuck with me. So you said that the code of chivalry was subjective. So were the knights like some sort of postmodernist or something? I mean, that doesn't
Postmodernists.
Well,
can you connect those dots for me?
What?
Where's your connection there? I'm
You said it was
genuinely interested.
Laughing.
I mean, because I thought chivalry was supposed to be an objective code of conduct, like kind of.
No,
like the
no,
Ten
no, no, no,
Commandments
no.
or-
The big problem that you have is that you're assuming that all of Europe is like the same and that they all believe the same things and all held the
That's
same
one
code
of
of
the-
conduct.
One of
Like
the-
Europe is not like America. It's a whole bunch of different countries.
Thank God.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, when you look at the actual books written of chivalry, like there's one written by Chrétien de Troyes, and then there's like again, I have all the references in my video and stuff like that. They are trying to describe how they feel a knight should act, which is actually a direct kind of point of reference to show that not every knight was behaving the way that they felt they should. Otherwise, there was no point in them even writing their books in the first place. All right. And so another one was by Raymond Lull. Okay. So chivalry meant many different things depending on how the different areas, knights, and even lords felt what made a good knight. And if you did those, if you perform those qualities that the individual lords or even the individual knights felt made a knight good at their job, they were then chivalrous by these individual definitions.
Okay, I think I got you.
So they're not. Do you still think they're postmodernists?
I didn't realize there were different codes of chivalry. I mean, that's not really something that pops up.
Well, I mean, did you really think that like British knights had the same code as French knights, and
Yeah,
Hungarian
the
knights,
normalization,
Bavarian
I mean,
knights.
why would you think that though?
Yeah, that's a huge
the Norman invasion
misconception.
method-
There was
Yeah, but
no
like-
unified code of chivalry that everyone was forced to adhere to.
I mean, it sounds like you think that there was like some rule book on society, you know, like a society rule book that's like you do
Like
this,
a-
this,
like
this, and
laws.
this.
I mean, that's what I thought.
like
was
special
going on.
night laws.
Nah.
So
what
you're
was
wrong on that one then, right?
I guess I was. So,
Alright, cool.
what was it that made someone like, say, a Richard the Lionheart or like some of the other really, really good knights? What was it that made them so good? What was their secret?
Generally, success.
I mean,
Was it-
what led to success?
What do you mean? Like, in
Like, why
terms of
why
success
did they
in
win so
combat?
much?
Like, you know, one of the more
I guess
they were
successful
good
knights
tacticians,
was
right?
William Marshall, and he gained huge fame from winning many tournaments, you know, jousts and all that stuff. But as to active service in large wars and stuff, he had some military service early on, but not to the scale of, say, Richard the Lionheart. And if you want to look at some of the things that certain kings who were lauded at being very noble and chivalrous, some of the things they actually did in warfare, by the romantic view of chivalry, they would seem like massive villains. Richard the Lionheart executed a few hundred prisoners or so because Saladin was stalling and didn't pay certain ransoms. And so because the ransom weren't paid, yeah, he executed them all. Might not seem very chivalrous. Knights, and especially kings, when it came to warfare, were actually far more pragmatists than they were, you know, I shall not fight, on unfair grounds and stuff like that. You know, they were warriors first and foremost, and they did adhere to the things that they felt were chivalrous, and also generally their direct society. But kings, more so than anyone else, had the power to go against the grain and do whatever the hell they wanted because not many people were going to challenge them.
Did you know that
Sorry.
Richard the Lionheart was gay? Fun fact.
What was that, Rags?
King Richard the Lionhearted was gay.
So was Dumbledore.
Wasn't.
Can we go back to Game of Thrones and how terrible episode 3 was? Hey, Republican man, what did you think about the trebuchets being at the front of the lines? What do you think about that?
I think that gives you the maximum distance to bombard the enemy before they close with you, and so that's the best place to put them. Then ranks out a bit.
How long does it take to reload a trebuchet?
I would estimate around 30 seconds, somewhere around there.
30 seconds. And how long does it take to readjust where a trebuchet is being aimed at? Like in terms of the the range, because the range is determined by the counterweight, and so the weights that you put in the counterweight on the trebuchet. And so if you are facing an army that's charging you, and that means their position is in a constant state of flux because they are charging you, you're only going to get one shot of the trebuchet until you have to reconfigure the whole setup to try and figure out where the enemy is in already. And by that time, the enemy will have engaged. You do realize trebuchets were rarely ever used by a defending army historically. They were mostly always used by a besieging army, usually against fortifications, a castle. The main reason why? Castles don't move.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I
so-
know that they were mostly used to bust walls, but I guess they're pretty good at killing personnel, though.
In defense against an attacking army, rarely ever used, okay? And if you did use them, well, one, you would most definitely want to put them behind a protective wall. Otherwise, they're just
I
gonna
guess
be destroyed.
a good example would be the Battle of Minas
Battle of
Tirith, where both
Mm-hmm.
both the orcs were using trebuchets to try and break sort of the castle defenses, and they were using trebuchets against a giant army, but they didn't put the trebuchets in the field because, like, if you put them in the field, then it's like a couple minutes and then they're gone.
Yeah,
By the way,
and
there were
also-
trebuchets and catapults in the Long Night.
Yeah, right.
yeah, I have another whole video on catapults. That catapults were not employed nearly to the level that people assume in medieval combat. The trebuchet meme, it truly is the more superior siege weapon. And also, just to your point about putting the trebuchets out in front, how far out in front of the walls was it? Like, was it 50 meters in front of the
I don't think it
Let me
was
see if
very
I can
far
get a
because you
picture
can see.
for
I
you.
think you can see the castle like in the frame as well.
Yeah.
So if the dead are afraid of fire,
So
and
this is the
trebuchets
thing.
are wood,
So
you just gotta
that
fire.
if you're putting the trebuchet, 50 meters in front of the castle walls, and the dead, how long would it take them to charge over 50 meters?
Probably like 10 seconds.
10 seconds?
50 meters, let's say 45 seconds.
I mean, that's pretty slow, man. I think like 50
They're-
meters.
They are
They were
zombies,
running.
though.
With the length of time that it takes to reload
Wait,
a trebuchet,
Just
especially,
one thing. The zombies are very fast. Just want to clarify that.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
they are very
And-
fast.
and with the length of time it takes to reload a trebuchet, and by the fact you would need to recalibrate it so it would be shooting at a shorter distance by removing things from the counterweight, you wouldn't get an additional shot off by moving it forward by 50 meters. The few seconds that you're gaining won't do a thing. You would still get the same amount of shots from the trebuchet, whether it's in front forward like that or behind the walls.
I mean, I guess the question, Republican, is like if you in the battle of, I keep referencing fantasy battles, but like in the Battle of Helm's Deep, they didn't put like anything in front of the wall because like the wall, they were going to reach the wall eventually. So anybody that you put there is dead. They're
So the
all dead.
trebuchet couldn't stand on the terrain in front of Minas
Well,
Tirith.
yeah. So are you leading me to
Whoa.
believe that if it could stand there, they would have put it there?
I mean, possibly.
You
I
think
don't
they
know.
would have though? Like, you really think that?
I mean, I don't know what the rules of the Lord of the Rings universe
Well,
are.
what do you
when
mean?
it
What do you
comes
mean
to
the
that.
rules?
matter.
It's still-
For-
it's
for
a-
this-
they want to kill him. Like,
I
that's
mean,
the
I
whole
don't
thing.
know
It's
if the guy who
about.
wrote it. I mean, I don't know if Tolkien was quite as versed in medieval things as George R. R. Martin is.
Oh,
Is you?
What? What?
Ooh.
It
Oh,
wasn't
boy.
George's decision to put the trebuchets forward like that. It was the showrunners. Because George is pretty well versed in medieval stuff.
Yeah,
Bring
He
his
wouldn't put the
dice.
trebuchets out in front of an army like that.
Do you guys,
Um,
I mean, but do you guys actually
other thing
believe that
is-
the showrunners just like totally did what they wanted
Yes.
and ignored George
Yes.
R. R. Martin?
Yes.
How would they
Yes.
get away with that once he publishes the book, though? Because there's no way they.
They don't give a
What
shit.
difference
They've already
does it
made
make?
their
It's their
money.
show.
What do you think's
Yeah.
going to happen to them?
You think season 8 is the first time they deviated from the books? It's not.
I've never read the books, but I mean, this is the first time I've heard.
Did you know?
complain
Did you
about
know? Did you know that the show is ahead of the books right now?
No, yeah,
So
you
they've
did say
definitely deviated from the books then, because the books don't exist.
it. Right, but I imagine they still have an outline to work from, and they're probably following it because they know how dedicated Game of Thrones fans are to keeping. With
Yeah,
what
they
Martin
figured
wants.
that out really quick.
Oh,
Hang on. Yeah, hang on. Just sorry. Your argument was how would they get away with it? They haven't got away with what they did do. Like they haven't. That's
everybody's really pissed.
Everybody's
off at them.
really annoyed at them.
Yeah, like season 8 is gonna go down in the annals of history as
Yes,
some
it
of,
is.
Yes.
some of the worst,
Possibly the
television
worst
ever
media that ever fucking got shat onto our TV screens.
I mean, if you guys think that's the worst thing that's ever happened, I have to wonder if you guys have ever seen things like the Funky Phantom and
In reference to how it
I've never seen
started, it is the
Funky
worst.
Phantom.
Yes.
It is among the worst. It is certainly in terms of relevance and significance and its popularity.
It's
definitely up
important,
there.
like the perspective, right? Because it's the final season of a show that was widely regarded to be of very high quality, and yet it's so amateurishly written. Like, I mean, you've already conceded the cavalry point. I'm not sure why you're still arguing about the trebuchets, and that
No,
if
like,
the Battle of
you-
Helm's Deep was happening, that they would put the trebuchets in front of the wall.
Well, just from the things that we mentioned, you would concede that putting the trebuchets forward like that is just retarded. It's like it was never done historically, and the fact that they did in the show was just stupid.
I love you, Shad.
But do we know with 100% certainty that trebuchets work the same way in Game of Thrones as they work in the world?
How would they work any differently?
They have
Fantasy trebuchet.
But they're showing us a trebuchet. The assumption is
Yeah, you got
Trebuchet.
dragons, but like gravity works the same way in Game of
It was
Thrones.
it was a
People are-
counterweight trebuchet. They showed it as a counterweight trebuchet with no deviation from the historical versions.
Mhm.
R2, the point that one of the big issues here is that you want to protect your siege equipment for as long as you can so that they have enough time to continuously fire at the enemy.
Although,
it's
to be
not how it
fair-
works. It's what it does, and it showed it. I assume I've not seen it. It showed it doing the same thing that a trebuchet does. That's how everyone knows it's a trebuchet.
And
Although, to
even
be
in the
fair,
show,
if we look at the assumptions we've made, I mean, obviously the dead, they just make attacks, they don't defend, they have no castle, so you can use your trebuchets, you can sacrifice them if you want to. What good are they gonna do you?
or
don't
you
have a
could
castle
keep
to
them
take
behind the walls and use them multiple times. I mean, even in the show, they only get one shot off before the dead overrun them, don't they?
I mean,
I
in any
think
battle, that
so.
would be considered a complete. Imagine you had an M1 Abrams and it got blown up after firing one shot. It's like, well, shit, that's like $20 million down the drain.
And Shad, I looked this up real quick. Maybe you can confirm. Someone asked, "What is the rate of fire of a typical medieval counterweight trebuchet?" This gentleman says that the larger counterweight has a record load time of 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Load.
That
420.
sounds about right.
About
Damn.
right. So,
Oh,
now,
Look at
I don't know
one
if you
shot,
played.
baby.
Yeah.
Now video games can help us contextualize this a bit better. But 4 minutes and 20 seconds is an eternity.
In a
When
battle,
every
yes.
second counts.
Yeah, with a charging enemy, with the length of time it took for the dead to close the distance, and it's funny because out of all the mistakes they made in that show, the fact that the trebuchets only got one shot off before the dead closed the distance does sound want to be one of the only accurate things, which just goes to emphasize the point even more that if you were going to use them, you would put them behind the bloody walls of your castle.
Mhm.
Angry
Actually,
Shad, it is funny.
Shad, what about the putting your men outside of the castle walls?
Well, even that is stupid as well. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of spare, like in my review, I said if they had any spare space inside the castle, there should be filled up with, those men armed
And they have
with
tons of
ideally,
space. Their
they
walls
had
are
tons
blank.
of space in there. It was. I was shocked at how much space was inside the castle after the dead actually got inside. I couldn't believe it. They should have loaded up that castle shoulder to shoulder with their soldiers, obsidian tipped arrows, even fires, whatever, as many as they could. And then if they couldn't fit everyone in after they loaded it up as much as possible, you wouldn't position your military in front of the castle. You would put it to the flanks, the sides of the castle, and get them. So you would get the army of the dead to hit the castle forward front on, smack them against the walls, and then you would close in with the infantry on the sides and flank them in that end. And then if they start to actually focus on the infantry instead of the castle, you would get the infantry to retreat, move around the castle, get the dead to follow them, while the defenders on the walls of the castle just ping them off. Okay.
Mhm.
And that's how you would work it. And so the dead, that would either force the army of the dead to split their forces to focus on the infantry in the castle at the same time, or they would commit all their forces to attacking the castle or the infantry. And if they're doing that, when the army of the dead is attacking the castle, you get the infantry to smack them. And then if the army of the dead is attacking the infantry, you get the castle to smack them.
And
I do have one
sounds
problem
like
with that.
like cavalry could come in handy in a situation like that once or twice.
Oh, absolutely. Because as soon as you have, the army of the dead engage with something, okay, you then bring in the heavy cavalry to do a massive shock impact on their flanks, okay, because those are the positions in which they're not ready to receive an attack on, and the cavalry would be employed to a much better degree. But with the Dothraki, because they're light cavalry, you don't send light cavalry into the ranks of your enemy, okay? You use them to harry the enemy. Because they got swords, you run up on the sides, slash, and then withdraw, and then run in again, okay? You don't charge in unless they're dedicated heavy cavalry.
There's one problem with the scenario you're painting, though, and that's that they don't have enough provisions to maintain everybody within the fort. So if they all get in the walls, then they're just going to be starved out.
How many provisions do they have?
Did the army of the dead wait to starve them out?
Oh, but they could. The Night King could just be like, "Oh, these guys fucked up. They're cut off."
They didn't.
Also, where
Why
are you
the
drawing
fuck would you
information
do
that they
that?
didn't? But also, where's your information that they didn't have enough provisions for the army?
You just moved a massive number of men to a single point in a short
But
period
they're
of
all-
time.
Don't you
During
think they
winter.
would only
Difference
do
is-
that
what
if they had
difference
the
does it make,
supplies
though?
to do it, though? Doesn't that make more sense?
Well, no. Here's the bigger fundamental problem. Like, they obviously have enough food for everybody there because they're all there. Like, what are you suggesting? That when you put them outside, they don't have to eat and drink? Like,
Have
they're
you-
just gonna stand there
No, you
forever?
keep your supply lines open to the south where you can import more food.
So
Because-
why does that change if they're outside the walls?
Because if they don't have a supply line that they have
So
to
you're
maintain
telling me
outside
they-
the walls along the road.
Why wouldn't
then
they just
they're cut
leave
off.
then? But they can. What's
Because
stopping them from
Winterfell's a
leaving the
great
castle?
fortification.
So a couple of things, okay? If the army of the dead didn't attack, that would have worked in their favor because they got 2 dragons that they can just go in, destroy them, and hopefully draw out their dragon, and then draw them back to the castle and take out the dragon. But the fact, I was annoyed that the dragons weren't used nearly to the level that they could have been, because they were massively effective. And you could say, but the Night King and his lances and stuff like that is like, yeah, that's very convenient to the plot. He's only good at it when he needs to be and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily the win move for the army of the dead. So wait, there wasn't really much indication in the show to say that they would wait. But having said that, waiting is still a good strategy. That's what the whole point of a siege is to starve them out. But it almost seems like the army of the dead wouldn't have been doing that. They were marching forward. They wanted to penetrate deeper into Westeros, and to do that, they needed to get past Winterfell. I didn't see much indication that they had that level of patience.
Well, yeah, because if the idea is that they could go around Winterfell, then why even battle them there? Just go around.
I mean, that would be an idea. Draw them out of their
Well,
fort.
but
make them
surely
fight
it's
in
not
the
an idea to go around because they had to go through.
I mean,
You see, when you have a castle, if you have the supplies, and there seems to be plenty of indication that they did, waiting actually it goes in your favor because it gives you time to
Game of
rally more
Thrones-
defenses.
Game of Thrones lawman here, they want to kill Bran. That's their main goal. Bran is hidden inside the castle. They're assaulting the castle to kill Bran.
Oh,
they
so
want
they're
Bran.
not going to wait him out then?
No, they're not going to wait
gonna-
whatsoever. They're going to
Mhm.
assault as soon as possible.
Well, there you go.
I mean, do we know for a fact that their main goal was Bran? I mean, because we know
Yes,
that was.
yes, we do.
Yes.
The final scene where they all crowd around Bran while the Night King waits to execute himself. That was their only goal. They didn't care about anything else. They were going to kill everything in their way.
Why did they just not attack the garden directly then?
was a
Exactly.
wall
You're
around
just
it.
highlighting even
You have
more
to-
issues with this show.
Yeah, the Godswood should actually be behind inside.
All
the
they
walls
need
of
to do is
Winterfell.
have the dragon do a
and you know
suicide
what?
run.
I actually have another whole video on how Winterfell should look according to the books. There you go. Another
Also, they-
deviation as well from the shows and the books. The Godswood should be
all I'm
inside the
looking
walls of
for-
Winterfell.
R2 is that you'd agree that it's not very well written, episode 3 of season 8 of Game of Thrones. What do you think?
I mean, I thought it was pretty well written.
But after
Has
all
has
this,
Shadiversity changed your mind whatsoever?
I mean, he showed me that there are differences between real medieval war and Game of Thrones.
Can you tell me
Dude,
why those wouldn't
dude.
apply to Game of Thrones?
Wow.
Well, I mean, I don't think it necessarily makes the story bad because the story is primarily about story arcs, which I guess you guys must not have watched a more recent video on story arcs because the
Yeah.
point
Yeah,
is
story
about
arc
character.
spelled with a K. Yes, that video, right?
Sure, I mean, So okay, I spelled arc wrong. You got me on that, but I already admitted that.
But hang on. The combat, the fighting, these strong points of conflict, they create and are an integral part of the story arc overall. You just can't separate them.
They absolutely are, because
they're a vehicle of storytelling rather than
and they're a faulty vehicle. They're a flawed vehicle. So like imagine I don't know, imagine that a story is like a car, or the story is, you know, like the beginning and end of a road, and the car is like the vehicle for the story. So the plot is like the chassis. I don't know, the characters are the wheel. Like let's say the world is the wheels. So every time you get something wrong, you basically slashing the tires of that car and making it harder and harder to get to the end point, like in a smooth, good way.
Yeah,
it gets bumpier. It starts to drag.
We're talking about specific characters, though. I mean, I actually thought
no. Everything is part of it. You can't compartmentalize it. You can prioritize what you think is more important for sure, but like the world is really important, especially in speculative fiction.
If how you arrive at your theme or goal or purpose, whatever you're trying to achieve in a story, if you arrive at that using means that are nonsensical, contradictory, have plot holes in them, are inconsistent, then that is bad storytelling. You just want the reward without putting in the work and without making the effort to have it all make sense. What if you needed to have the good guys win in the Battle of Winterfell, they were just about to lose, but then the fucking Marines arrive in their tanks and their M16s and they blow away all of the undead and they save the castle. Oh, we got our arc finished for the characters. We won the battle. We saved the day. But how we got there was completely nonsensical.
I guess that would change all of Game of Thrones into a comedy.
Oh, a lot of people have been laughing at it for certain. But
it would ruin the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, a world should abide by its own rules and its own internal logic. Same thing with Star Wars and Warhammer and Mass Effect, and every fictional world has a grounding in some set of rules that it follows. That helps establish stakes. That helps let the audience know that not literally everything is possible. Even Harry Potter has rules. And that's
the big thing, right? Is making sure that people know that not everything is possible. Like that there won't be any... then
there's no stakes.
Stories, yeah, exactly. Because stories are built on expectations to some extent. And that means, like, even if the story does something that you didn't expect, it has a logical through line so that it would be reasonable for you to expect that. Whereas like it would be unreasonable for me to expect that if I were watching episode 9 that Palpatine wasn't dead and he's actually coming back and he's going to fight Rey and that's going to be the end of the series.
I mean, I don't know what'll happen in episode 9. I don't think anyone does, but
yeah, we do. We know what's going to happen.
I think
we know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, the leaks have been extensive and ongoing to a degree I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, it is legitimately interesting.
Do you think it's all just a big fake out by Disney?
Why?
What would they have to gain? What do you mean?
I mean, do you think they're just trying to get one over on the fans by letting people...
Okay, they want to make money.
I'm going to use my host powers here. I feel like the conversation has reached a natural end. I want to refocus the stream as to what it was originally intended to. I appreciate the discussion with both Shadowversity and Remarkable Republican, but I was going to say
Mahler.
Yes?
Mahler,
yes.
He has... I don't know if you're going to dismiss him or so we can get along, but he has to ask him the episode 9 question.
I will do that. Okay. Remarkable Republican. Who do you think, and I'm going to rephrase this question because I don't exactly know how you feel about Star Wars. Who do you think is going to be the character that's treated the worst in terms of consistency in episode 9? Who do you think is the character that will fail to live up to who they are intrinsically with what we understand about them in episode 9, from what we understand? And this is based on absolutely anything. Who do you think?
Palpatine comes back, it'll be him, because...
Oh shit, we disqualified Palpatine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This poll. We're keeping track. We just want to see who gets it right. So before we began, we didn't know that Palpatine was going to be in this one. So we've disqualified Palpatine, and I think Lando.
Yes.
Yeah, Lando was disqualified.
Just
Yes.
give us your top 3, I guess, and then we'll be able to tell you sort of how it works out.
Well, I guess no matter what Rey does, it isn't really a surprise at this point because she kind of just does whatever. Finn has been super inconsistent. But I don't. The Asian lady that everybody hated. They'll probably make her do something that makes no sense again. If Leia's in the movie at all, I mean that wouldn't make sense. I don't know.
She's
I
in
don't
a
know
lot
what
of
it
it.
would.
Why would you?
No,
why
jab,
would
blah,
you-
blah,
Distract her is the emotional core of the film.
Who do you think will be the one that's treated the worst? Go for it.
Worst. Okay, that I'm gonna go with Kylo Ren
All right.
because I
Oh,
think
We
shit.
disqualified Kylo Ren.
We disqualified him too. You got to pick someone else.
Okay. All right. Poe Dameron.
All right, that's fair. There you go. What's your reasoning for Poe Dameron? Out of curiosity.
I couldn't choose Kylo or Palpatine, but also they just made him. In the last episode, they kind of emasculated him. So I don't know what he's going to do now, but it won't be something that you would expect out of a fighter pilot. It'll probably be something really dumb.
Yeah. All right.
Seminars about feelings or something.
Yes, fair enough. There you go. Every person who comes on EFAP and is considered a relatively full-time guest is given a chance to answer this question. So thank you for giving your input. Is there anything else you'd like to say before you hop out?
Not really. Just thanks for having me on. Had fun talking to you guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Remarkable Republican. You can find him on YouTube. He makes a lot of videos about Game of Thrones and assorted other medias.
And it was good to meet you, mate. I know it was a
Chad.
bit of a strange way to meet and everything. I just enjoy a good, healthy debate. So sorry if I come off a bit aggressive at times, but I just like.
It was
Excellent.
good to meet you, Shad.
Yeah, good to meet you too, mate.
Because it's just I don't mean to rush. It's just that we've got
I get you.
an
It's
intention
cool.
with this stream. So yeah, thanks for coming on, my good man, and perhaps we shall see you in the distant future.
All right. Well, have a good night, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
See you around.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man.
Bye-bye.
I haven't had a headache that intense since the first time we covered Bob.